Hello, succeeders. I am so excited to be back with you today. You have absolutely no idea. So, let me go back to the beginning for those of you who are maybe new to Live Lead Succeed and new to who I am. My name is Stacy Barlow Hill. I am a leadership and lifestyle coach helping you to become the best version of yourself and lead successfully. Let me just give you a little bit of background about why I'm so super excited today. So, it has been about 6 months since my last video, since my last podcast. I had a lot going on and I had to take some time off. I told you all this about 6 months ago that I was taking time off. And I said during that time that it may be 30 to 60 days or so. And it turned out to be 6 months, y'all. 6 months I have been gone. So, the benefit of that is that I have learned so much during that time. I have so much to share. I am so motivated and enthusiastic to get back to serving and to, giving you all content that is useful for your life. So, let me just give you a little bit of background about what has been going on with me. I have had some spine and nerve damage. For the last several years, about 3 years ago, there was about a 9 month period where I was just really unable to really walk well, severe pain. It really affected my other business. I have an event planning business that's 11 years old. I lead a team of 16. But during that time, I was responsible for about 90% of the business. And that time really helped me to step up into leadership and to grow the team and to utilize the team in the way that I needed to so that it could operate without me. So there was a blessing and a lesson in that, which we're actually going to talk about a little bit today. But through that, anyway, I worked through it. I had a holistic chiropractor that I saw and started to doing some strengthening exercises. I sought all kind of help before that. So, anyways, long story short, I got through that. Fast forward to this May or June of this year, some of that began to come back. I don't really know what triggered it. I'm not sure what happened. I still don't know what happened. But I came back from a family vacation and I was unable to walk for about 3 to 4 months. I was on crutches, not able to put weight. It was stemming from my spine, but it was affecting like my hamstring area. But it really affected me not only physically, but mentally, because it kind of spiraled me back to that place that I was in a few years ago. And I began to have all of these, oh, what's going to happen? My business and family and all of those thoughts just kind of came flooding back. And though I am super strong in my faith and I knew that God was going to take care of all of that, um, there were still some really dark days. There were some lonely days. There were a lot of days I questioned, like, okay, God, I know you've got this, but right now is just not the right timing. I told these people I was coming back in 30 to 60 days. This was not in my plan, right? We get caught up in our plans and what we want to do and promises that we made and kept. And anyways, after some time, I realized this is not in my control at all. And I need to surrender to this. I need to live through this. I need to work through this. And I need to find the lesson so that I can come back, be the best version of myself, and help others to do the same and to lead successfully because that is my mission and that's what I'm here for. So, I hope you caught up on all of that. But, anyways, so if you have not been keeping up, Live Lead Succeed has a brand new logo. If you want to see it, I'm going to share it with you. Look at that. Live, Lead, Succeed with Stacy Barlow Hill. This was done by my brother-in-law, Curtis McSears. He owns SGA Shop Apparel. So you should definitely go to him. He has been tagged in all of my posts regarding that. So you definitely need to see him for all of he does screen printing and logo making and all of those things. So go see him. But we have a new logo. We are officially formed as an LLC. This is now, it used to be just, it was always Live Lead Succeed, but I really operated under Stacy Barlow Hill leadership and lifestyle coach, which I still am, but now this is more focused on Live, Lead, Succeed with Stacy Barlow Hill. So same thing, same content. I'm just going to be structuring it a little bit different moving here in the future. So let's get down to what I want to teach you today. So like I told you, there was, the 6 month period that about 3 or 4 months of it was physical. The last few months of it was more mental, just trying to restructure. My event planning company needed some attention, so I needed to kind of go through that and work through some personnel things and strengthening that, so that I was able to get back to this and be in a good spot with it. So there were three things that I felt that coming out of this situation, I just kind of reflected on it and was thinking that, these are really three questions that I feel like every entrepreneur needs to probably ask themselves after they come out of a difficult time. Because as an entrepreneur, everything that happens to us affects our business. Our life affects our business, what we worry about, what we stress about, all of those things affect our business. And can your business operate when you're not there? Okay. So that's kind of what the basis of Live, Lead, Succeed is. It's about learning to lead ourselves. It's about learning, going and growing through personal development. It's about being the best person that you can be so that you are able to effectively lead others so that you can scale and grow your business so that you are not dependent, so that the business is not dependent on you. So that you are able to lead a whole and balanced life without having to stress about everything. That is the one thing that I am super, super grateful for throughout this time that I was going through was that my company did not skip a beat without me. My team, my systems were in place, and I was able to take these months and to heal and to go through what I needed to go through without the stress and worry of, is my business going to fall apart? And that's what I really want. For all of you to be able to get to. So, today, like I said, top three questions that every entrepreneur needs to ask after going through difficult times. So, we are going to get to these. Number one, I want you to ask the question, did you allow yourself to feel whatever you felt? So, this is not in the form of a question on here. So, it says, allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling. This is so important because a lot of times we feel like we feel a certain way and then we have to brush it to the side because we have to keep face. We have to keep appearances. We can't let people see us angry. We can't let people see us disappointed or sad or mad. Something someone said to me, or maybe I read it, I can't quite remember now, but it was some time ago. But someone said that babies are the most well-adjusted beings that there is because they allow themselves to feel. When a baby is mad, they throw something. When they are unhappy, they cry. When they are disappointed, they pout. They express their feelings. And it's why a child is able to go from being super, super sad one minute to being ecstatic and happy and ready to go the next minute. It's because they've allowed themselves that time to let those feelings out, to feel what they felt. They got it out, and now they're ready to move on. And while they're able to do that a lot quicker than we may be able to do, the same kind of mindset applies to us, right? If we allow ourselves to feel what we're feeling in that moment and not, have any type of other feelings associated with that. For instance, if we are mad and we allow ourselves to be mad without feeling like, oh, someone's going to think, I'm a hypocrite because I'm getting mad about this, or someone's going to think that this is inappropriate for me to be mad about this. If we let go of those attachments and those stigmas about what we think other people are going to think about us and how we think it's going to affect us, we will be able to live so much freer. Allow yourself to feel whatever it is that you are feeling. It's okay. You are allowed to feel what you feel. If you feel mad, I was mad. I was mad that I was on crutches. I was mad that it was the summer and that I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I was mad that I couldn't attend the events I wanted to attend. People were finally back outside and I was stuck in the house. I was mad that I was being left out of things. I was just mad I couldn't do things for myself. I had to depend on my husband and my children once again to get everything for me. And I just, I was going through this mad phase. And there were some days I just laid in the bed mad. And I knew I couldn't stay there too long, but I knew that I was allowed to feel that. That's the way I felt. And I allowed myself to feel that for a moment. Right. So I want you to understand that's normal. It's also necessary to be able to do that so that you can move through it and then get on to the next phase, which is what number two is really going to be. Number two is, did you allow yourself to stay there too long? So we want to feel what we feel, right? But we don't want to stay in that place, okay? Because staying in that place, then there comes the dangers of depression and just mental exhaustion and other things that are going to come along with that. And those things have their own place. Depression is absolutely real, and mental exhaustion is absolutely real, and things that come along with that are absolutely real. But it also it goes into a spiral, right? So when we start to feel those things, it spirals into other things. So now your depression may be leading to, difficulties in your marriage, or difficulties in raising your children, or difficulties in running your business. And there's a whole trickle down effect that happens when we stay in a place for too long. Now, if you are seriously dealing with depression, then you need to seek help for that. You need to go find a therapist. You need to go find someone who can help you work through that. But if you are just experiencing feelings that can be solved by simply processing them and then allowing yourself to move on, that's what you want to do. You don't want it to grow arms and legs and start to develop into something that it doesn't have to. So I recognize that these feelings were not healthy, but I needed to get through them so that I could get past them. And I've been through depression before. I've been through those feelings before, and I know what that feels like. And I know personally that if I allowed myself to stay in that place too long, that would be the spiral and trickle down effect of all of that. So for myself personally, I knew I did not want that. And I knew that I had to pick myself up out of this after a certain amount of time so that I did not begin to snowball. So you have to command your life back at this point. You have to allow yourself to feel what you feel, number one. But number two, don't allow yourself to stay there too long. At some point, you have to command your life back. You have to send the enemy packing. You have to declare a decree. You have to get down on your knees and pray, whatever it is that you need to do to affirm your life back and command your life back. That's what you have to do. So allow yourself to feel what you feel. Don't stay there too long. And then number three, and finally, is to, I'm sorry, I lost my notes here. Find something to be grateful for. That's what the last question is. Did you find something to be grateful for? And if you're following along with this banner, I'm going to write this on here. Did you find something to be grateful for? If you're listening to the podcast, I apologize. I am typing right now so that if you're watching the video, you have the notes here. Did you find something to be grateful for? Okay. So, as we reflected on what happened, anytime you are going through something, anytime there is an occurrence that happens in your life, there is always a takeaway from that. What lesson did you uncover? What lesson did you discover? What lesson were you taught? What will you take away from this that you can use um, moving into the future? There's always a takeaway, there's always a lesson. And if you are in a space to receive it, it will actually be useful for you moving forward into the next phase of your life. So, for me, this experience has truly taught me to be present. I have tried to live in the present for the last few years, but this particular time around, being present had a completely different meaning for me. I mean, it was present down to just listening to the birds. Like it almost became a challenge to myself. How quiet can I get my mind where I can actually hear the birds chirping outside. Birds are usually always chirping, and this was something that I I knew, right? We know the birds were always chirping, but our lives and our minds are just so busy sometimes that you can't hear that. Like when you hear birds chirping, like your mind is pretty much clear. And that became a challenge to myself to get outside or even just sitting out inside near a window sometimes. But relaxing, meditating, getting my mind to the point where it was quiet enough that I could hear birds chirping and just observe peace and feel joy. I began to sit out and just watch the sunset. Some evenings like that was just peaceful, watching the clouds, looking at make believe images that were formed by the clouds. Just truly, truly living in the moment. That was my takeaway from that. It was a lesson I learned that I had not truly been living. I hadn't my word for this year. I set a goal word for every year, and this year it was live. And I realized that I wasn't living. I was still too focused on things and goals. And while that's good, right? Because I'm actually going to be doing a goal setting workshop here soon. Those are very important. You need to have goals, right? But you also need to live. You need to live your life. What are you setting all these goals for? What are you planning all of these things and actions for if you're not going to live and enjoy them, right? You have to create space in your life to live, or otherwise you're just doing things just to do them. We have to be able to have a balance in life, and to be able to do the things that we're motivated by, things that bring us passion and joy. um, Teaching and being here with all of you brings me passion. I couldn't wait to make this video today. I've been waiting for the moment that I felt like myself again, to be able to get back to you all, because this is something that I feel called to do, that I'm motivated to do. No one has to wake me up in the morning and tell me to do this. No one has to wake me up in the morning to tell me to serve and to teach and to give and to inspire people. That's something that's already birthed inside of me, and I feel super blessed and fortunate that that's what I get to do, and to bring this to you. So you have to find something that inspires you and lights you in. But going back to what the question is, finding the lesson. Did you find the lesson? Sometimes the lesson is simply to not repeat that again. What did I do that caused me to get in that place? In my particular instance, I don't know. It might have just been God, because I still don't know what actually happened to get me there physically. But I do know that while I was there, lessons were learned, and that's what I choose to focus on. So I want you to go back and think about these steps that we just went through. Number one was allowing yourself to feel what you feel. Number two, not allowing yourself to stay there too long. And number three, finding something to be grateful for. So whenever we go through these things, lessons, trials, and tribulations make us stronger, right? They give us a testimony at the end. They give us something to think back on. They give us something to be appreciative that we overcame, that we came out of. But in just about every single situation, every trial, there's always, always, always something to be learned from it, some lesson to take away, something that you can always use to inspire people. So, my biggest takeaway from all of this is that when you have a shared experience with someone, it allows you to be of greater service to them. I am able to connect with a lot more people than I was able to connect with before. I have a shared experience with them. I have something in common. I have something that makes me more empathetic to what someone else is going through, because I've been there. I know what that feels like. Um, so, whatever you've been through, you now have a shared experience. You now have an expertise on something. You now have stripes, right? Something that is going to help connect you to someone else. So, if you are operating in a space of service, being of service to other people is going to require you to have connections with them. And the more shared experiences that you have, the deeper that connection is going to be. So, that is my time for today. I thank you all so much for being here with me. I mentioned briefly before, I am working on a 2022 goal setting workshop for you all that's going to be coming up in the next couple weeks here. So I want you to look out for that. I'm still deciding whether it's going to be a live workshop or if it's going to be a recording. But either way, it's going to be here for you guys in the next couple weeks here. So look out for that. I'll be emailing it to you or putting it out on social media. But I want everyone to just go into 2022 with a mindset that is focused, that is ready. And oftentimes we just put these generic goals right on the calendar and we get all hyped up for 2022, for the next year. Everybody runs to the gym and they do all these things, and then you fall off and get to this time of the year and then wonder what happened and why we didn't follow through on all the goals we set. So I don't want that to happen to you next year. I want you to be prepared and I want you to be ready. So that's what this workshop is all about. So again, thank you so much for being with me today, and I will catch you next time. Remember to live, lead, and succeed.